They say our office building was constructed on the site of an old psychiatric hospital. After what I saw that night, I believe every word of it. I've worked late hundreds of times over my 8 years at Morrison & Associates. The 23rd floor becomes a different world after 9 p.m. fluorescent lights humming their lonely song, the distant whir of the HVAC system, and that peculiar stillness that only exists in empty office buildings. I'd grown comfortable with it, even found it peaceful. That comfort died on a Thursday night last October. It was approaching midnight when I finally pushed back from my desk, eyes burning from staring at spreadsheets. The floor was deserted, as expected. Even the cleaning crew had finished their rounds an hour earlier. I gathered my things and headed for the elevator, my footsteps echoing off the polished floors. Conference room B sits halfway down the main corridor, its glass walls normally offering a clear view of the mahogany table and 12 leather chairs inside. But at night, with the room's lights off, those glass walls become mirrors, reflecting the dimly lit hallway. As I walked past, something in my peripheral vision made me stop. In the reflection, clear as day, I saw someone sitting at the far end of the conference table. My blood turned to ice water. The room was pitch black. I could see that plainly through the glass. Complete darkness, yet in the reflection, illuminated as if by some impossible light source, sat a figure in one of the conference chairs. I stood frozen, my brain struggling to process what my eyes were seeing. The figure wasn't moving, just sitting there with perfect posture, hands folded on the table. I couldn't make out facial features, but I could see it was wearing what looked like an old-fashioned dark suit. My first thought was that someone had stayed late and fallen asleep, but how could I see them in the reflection when the actual room was completely dark? It made no sense. Against every instinct screaming at me to run, I reached for the door handle. The metal was colder than it should have been. I flipped the light switch. The fluorescence flickered to life, revealing exactly what I'd seen through the glass. An empty room. 12 chairs tucked neatly under the table, nothing else. But in my peripheral vision, in the glass door I was still holding open, the reflection showed the figure still sitting there. Now it had turned its head toward me. I slammed the door shut and backed away, my heart hammering against my ribs. The reflection was gone. The glass now showed only the lit conference room, exactly as it should. I stood there for 30 seconds, maybe a minute, waiting for my pulse to slow, trying to convince myself I'd imagined it. Then the lights in conference room B went out by themselves. In the darkness, in the reflection, the figure was back. This time it was standing. I ran. I didn't wait for the elevator. I took the stairs, flying down 23 flights so fast I nearly broke my ankle. The security guard at the front desk looked up in alarm as I burst through the stairwell door, gasping and drenched in sweat. "Everything all right?" he asked. I almost told him, almost, but what would I say? But I saw someone who wasn't there. Instead, I mumbled something about thinking I'd left my car lights on and hurried out into the night. I called in sick the next day and the day after that. When I finally returned, I took the long way around the floor, avoiding conference room B entirely. For 2 weeks, this worked. Then Jennifer from accounting mentioned something that made my blood run cold. "Did you hear about the new security policy?" she asked during lunch. "They're investigating after-hours access to the conference rooms. Apparently, the motion sensors in conference room B have been triggering every night around midnight, but the security cameras show nothing. It thinks it's a glitch." I knew it wasn't a glitch. I submitted my resignation that afternoon. My manager was shocked. I had been with the company for nearly a decade, had just received a promotion. I made up a story about a family emergency requiring me to relocate. On my last day, as I was packing up my desk, curiosity got the better of me. I walked past conference room B one final time. It was mid-afternoon, the room brightly lit for a meeting that had just ended. In the reflection in the glass, among the living people gathering their papers and laptops, I saw it again. The figure in the dark suit, sitting in that same chair at the far end of the table. This time, I saw its face clearly. It was smiling. "I've been gone from that job for 6 months now. But sometimes, Late at night, when I pass by windows or mirrors, I check the reflections carefully. Because once, just once, 3 weeks ago, I saw that same smile reflecting back at me from my bathroom mirror. The figure was standing right behind me. When I turned around, nothing was there. It's getting closer.
I didn't stop running until I was in my car, windows up, doors locked. I sat there for minutes, maybe longer, just staring at the building. Nothing moved, no lights, just glass reflecting the storm behind me. The next day, I told my boss I needed time off. No explanation. I don't think I could have given one even if I tried. 3 days passed. I avoided my phone, avoided my laptop, avoided mirrors. But on the third night, something shifted. I opened my work email, just to feel like the world was still real, still functioning. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe it was stress. There was a message waiting. Subject re: your request. No sender, no timestamp. Just a video file. I shouldn't have opened it, but I did. The video started with grainy security footage, my cubicle, empty. Then I walked into frame. Sat down at the desk like I always did. Normal at first, except I wasn't typing. I wasn't moving at all. Just sitting, staring at the monitor. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. Still frozen, eyes wide, watching something. Then the monitor and the footage began to glow, a strange, unnatural light, like it was reacting to something behind the screen. It lit up my entire face. And through the static, I could just barely make it out. My bedroom, my actual room. Me, asleep in bed. The version of me in the footage leaned closer to the screen. Closer, until his face filled the frame. He smiled. Just once, the footage cut to black. No ending, no error, just static. I slammed the laptop shut. I stood there trying to calm my breathing. Then I noticed something on my real monitor, on my actual desk. A file I hadn't seen before. live_feed.mp4, already open. No timestamp, no origin. I clicked it. It showed a strange angle, wide, slightly distorted. It took me a moment to realize what I was seeing. It was my room. From behind me, I was standing at my desk, staring at the screen. Just like now, I turned around fast. Nothing, just my room, still silent. But when I turned back to the monitor, there were two of me on the screen now. One standing, one smiling. And neither of them blinked.